Hey, what is up, everyone? It is your girl, Olivia. You are currently listening or watching the Orange Blossom Special Show. This is a podcast dedicated to grief, the ones we have lost, and just learning to laugh, heal, and repeat along the way. Make sure you hit that subscribe or follow button down below. And if you are streaming on a platform, leave me a review, please and thank you. With that, we're going to get started with today's episode. So, today's episode is titled, You're Not the Only One, because I know you said your mom told you were special. You're really not that special. I'm just kidding. This is the Orange Blossom Special Show, so I believe everyone here is special in their own way. But the thing about life and the thing about life situations is that we often think that we are special in the essence of we are the only one who has ever gone through what we have been through. And I was thinking about this the other day when I was in therapy, talking to my therapist, because when you are going through a really dark, challenging season, maybe you've lost a loved one, maybe you've lost a job, maybe you've been waiting for that promotion and you get passed, or that long-term relationship has ended. I think it is so easy when we have experienced some type of grief, loss, trauma, that we are the only one in our given situation and that no one else has ever gone through what we have gone through. And in my experience of losing my dad, who was literally the funniest person I know, who I created this podcast in memory of, I learned that I was not the only one on the planet of the earth that's ever lost a parent, who's ever lost a dad. And talking to friends and other people in my life who have gone through this situation that I have been, I found it very healing in a sense. And that's the thing I've been learning recently in my current situation is I think I'm the only one who has ever experienced like loss or had a wilderness season or been in a place of legitimately not knowing what was next, not knowing what am I doing with my life, not knowing am I really making the right decisions, am I really supposed to be here, like what is my life's purpose. And you just have all of these spiraling thoughts because so much of grief in life in general is learning to acknowledge that the person who you were and the life that you had, either with that person you were dating or married to, or with that relative, or in that place you lived, it's gone. And we don't live in a multiverse. I mean, some people might do. I haven't found the door to it yet, so you can let me know. But unfortunately, there's no magic door that you can go open and enter your past job, where you were, like who you used to be. We cannot go back and enter a door even if we wish just once. That's just the part of life. Again, when we are going through grief, loss, trauma, it so often feels as if we are the only ones that have experienced it. And I think in like the really dark seasons of our life, I think it is so easy to forget that you aren't the only one who is experiencing what you have gone through. in life, in loss. And one thing that my friend said is, you've never had a season like this up until now. And if you are in a season where you feel that your life has literally been flipped upside down, I think it's just important to note that sometimes the only way out is legitimately through. And I lived in New York City. I think for me, an example is you are going through the Lincoln Tunnel, which, if you are not aware of what the Lincoln Tunnel is, it's like an underground tunnel that you have to drive through that brings you into New York City. And it's dark. It has like dim lights. Often it's like bumper to bumper traffic. You have no idea how long it's going to take for you to get up into Manhattan because you lose service. Again, and it's just like dark. And sometimes you get through the tunnel quickly, and sometimes you sit in a lot of traffic and it takes longer than expected to get to the light. And the thing about going through grief, going through trauma, having life situations is that it is not foreign to be depressed. It is not foreign to have anxiety. I very much stand firm on the fact that there are a lot of people who will be like, just pray about it, just take the supplement, just do this, do that. No, I am very much pro, if you are in a deep, dark season and you need to be on some type of medication because that medication is going to make you see the light of day, be on that medication. And I'm just someone who, unfortunately, with like certain medications, they don't react to me. Like, I really don't feel anything. But some people, obviously, they do help them. And I personally, like, I have ADHD. I deal with anxiety. I feel that my ADHD causes anxiety sometimes. And when I go through tough seasons, it is important for me to like scale back and think, okay, is this your ADHD? Is this your anxiety? Do you think it's worse? Do you think it might be depressed? And what do you need to do to take care of yourself accordingly in this season, in this time? And do not ever be afraid to seek help or to tell a friend. Like, personally, I'm going to be like so for real. My therapist goes, do you need to do like I think it's like the PH9 test. It basically tells you how depressed you are. And I'm like, I can just tell you I am. Legitimately, I can just tell you I am. Like, we don't need to go through all the steps for me to tell you, like, okay, I feel like there's a really dark, heavy cloud over me and I don't know when the sun is going to literally come out. Even though I live in Tampa and it's sunshine like every single day. Okay? And I was just like just talking to some friends on how, you know, like, I've been in really bad car accidents. Part of that means that you had bad brain days. Part of that means that if I work out too hard, my heart rate gets too high and I have like a migraine the next day, I notice a trend that like that leads me to start having like bad thoughts, anxiety, depressing thoughts. And I know kind of what triggers what. And I'm finally learning this. Finally. But sometimes like things don't click until later. And just in our day and age, especially with males, like, people don't talk about mental health. People don't talk about their feelings. People don't talk about what they're really going through because they have probably, and I'm going to assume this based off of conversations that I have had with males and with other people in my life, when you're not around a safe space and when you're not around safe people, it can be incredibly hard to be vulnerable with how you are actually feeling, which is, I feel like, why a lot of people take to the internet, because people in their own life don't listen to them about what it is that they're struggling through. And I'm just someone that, for some reason, a lot of people just tell me their life problems and their life story and have me play therapist. But in being in that, I guess you could say, role, though, because I'm not a licensed therapist at all, I need to say that, it is one thing that I've kind of picked up on, and I want to be the type of person where I'm a safe space where someone can come, and if you are really struggling, you can talk to me. You can put it in the comments oh my gosh, Olivia, I'm having such a hard day, and I'm you know what, man, praying for you. It's gonna be all right. Sometimes you have to scale back and take things one day at a time. I know for me, when I start thinking too much into the future, that is when I can start getting very, very overwhelmed. And if you're going through a tough season right now, that is the one thing I want you to be very, very keen on, is try your best just to take in things one day at a time. And I am someone who, I like everything to be planned out. I'm very much a planner. I am very much I have mental time blocks on things of when I'm going to do what, when, how. I have had to humble myself and make sure I start writing things down to remind myself to do things after getting, I don't know, freaking know how many concussions. But don't be afraid to humble yourself and have notes and write things down and give yourself grace, because depression, anxiety, mental health is not a one size fits all. Your brain is a snowflake. Every person's brain is different. Everyone's brain is wired differently. What triggers you may not trigger someone else, vice versa. What may cause you anxiety may not cause the other person anxiety, because guess what? There's people who I guess just don't have anxiety at all. And they're probably the people who don't have any sense of urgency either. So everyone is different with how they handle things, how they process things, how they grieve things. And again, the best thing I think I can say, if you, like me, have been in a dark hole, if you've been in a season where you didn't know if you could see your way out, surround yourself with friends, surround yourself with positive people. Remind yourself you are a success and that you're not a failure. And if I'm the only person who you hear this from today, I just want you to know that I think you are created with a purpose, that there is a reason why you are here, that God sees you, that you do have skills and you do have talent. And even if you cannot see everything falling into place today, then maybe it's because it's supposed to fall into place tomorrow. But you won't know what tomorrow will bring until you go to sleep at night and you wake up in the morning. And make sure you eat something today. Make sure you get a good night's rest. Just believe that you are here for a reason and that there is so much in store for you. There is so much in store for your life. Unfortunately, the sad reality is that we are not exempt from going through trials, going through tribulations. And I know there are times where it can literally feel like you are on a pile of rubble and you don't know when you're going to be able to stand again. And I promise you, your day will come. And I have to tell myself and remind myself this, is that the sun comes out eventually, that no, like, this too shall pass. The good seasons, they pass. The bad seasons, they pass. And unfortunately, we have to, like, learn. We grow forward and we learn backward. So many seasons that I have had that I thought were really tough seasons were minor compared to the seasons that I have faced recently, and vice versa. And sometimes we just have to remind ourselves just to be thankful for the little things, to remember that there is a bigger plan. God is out of our time frame. He is like the friend that has zero urgency, and you're like, we need to leave 15 minutes ago, and they go, yeah, but can we just like stay for one more drink? I really don't feel like going home right now. You're like, I wanted to be in bed. No, we just need to hang out a little bit longer. And I just roll my eyes. But if there's anything I've learned in my life, that is very much how God works with me. And it is never how I plan, how I anticipate, but how He plans. And set goals, have dreams, but just trust that it is never going to be the way you would expected. And the darkest hours bring the brightest of lights. So, with that being said, thank you for choosing to listen or watch my podcast. Remember, you really are special. Okay? Go have a cup of coffee, go see a friend. Shoot, have a couple of drinks for me. All right, I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.